Howdy, I'm Matt, and in this video we are going to be chatting about the Durafly Excalibur and a couple of things which I'm not that happy about, and I wanted to share with these things with you because I feel it's important. The Excalibur is a model which has been out for a very long time, and as such the small little niggles should really be ironed out. And unfortunately I've got a little mini list down here, and I am going to be a little bit mean to it, and the reason why I am going to be mean to the Excalibur is for exactly those reasons. It's a tried and tested model, and there's been plenty of time to make improvements, and I can't believe that I'm in like a year after it being released and I'm finding these little niggles now. So does a little bit concern me. We are talking about a premium model which is plus £100, or mine was about just over £100, so keep that in the back of your mind. We're not talking like a cheap 30 quid one from a Chinese site. We are talking 100 quid plus premium model. As such, I feel that well, actually you can be the judge of this. Am I being too mean? You can let me know in the comments section underneath this video as soon as you've been and heard my comments. So the first one is that I need to turn this thing around. And by the way, there's no denying it is an absolutely beautiful model. It really does look the part. H, what do you reckon of this one?
Sweet.
Sweet. You saw it on flight test a minute ago, didn't you?
It looked fast.
It looked fast. I really do like the idea of it just because it's fast. Right, now that I've managed to manoeuvre that around, and apologies, it's going to be a little bit shaky, is the first thing is these tail servos, they're not metal geared. £100 plus model, plastic geared servos. Well, I haven't taken them apart, but the top knobbly bit underneath there with the teeth on is plastic geared servos. Might be wrong, but by the looks of it, they're plastic geared. And the reason why I'm bringing this up as a point is that you'll find out in a moment, I did some work on one of the aileron servos, and that's metal geared. The top piece is metal, so that would indicate to me that it's metal geared servos. But these ones, perhaps not. Maybe they've cheaped out on these rear servos. Again, premium £100 plus model, cheaping out on servos. Didn't like that very much, so I'm just going to tick that one off my list. What was going on with the leads? Apologies, I've screwed all this together. But underneath here, what they had was a servo connection lead. I'm going to see if I've got one floating around here on my desk. Right, you're going to have to take my words for it. Servo connection lead with 3 wires, get my fingers out like, with 3 pointy metal bits pointing out the end. Not a proper female connector, a male connector with 3 spikes pointing out the end. Did not like the look of those. That was the extension leads which came down here, and they had to connect them up to the servo wires underneath. I really did not like the look of those at all. So what I've been and done with mine is that I've been and connected the servos up, but then I've also put some sellotape, and not the cheapo stuff, a proper branded sellotape round it, to ensure that those connections stay still over time. And again, I was really not impressed by that. It's a bit of a faff to get them, cram them in there. We can deal with that, but the actual connectors, I don't know why they used it. It was just like a standard servo connector. I'm here trying to find an example so I can show you what I mean. So there's a normal servo connector for an ESC. Well, just to come on, focus. Come on, there we go. And you know what I'm talking about. On the female version of this, you've got the metal pins which come out. That's what we had on this. You had that connector, but with the pins coming out. No idea why they went that route. No idea. Very peculiar. To the point, I did put some sellotape around it because I was a little bit concerned about that coming out over time. What have I got here? Oh yeah, shit, servo connectors. Oh god, while we're back here, this servo drove me nuts. In the kit, you get a really good screwdriver. There's a little black screwdriver just there. Very cool. Right, fits all the screws, except for, wait for it, the servo screws. So frustrating, to say the least. So one of these tiny little screws, and they're just chopped off normal end servo screws. So one of them went in there easily, okay. The other one, absolute bastard to get in there. Complete nightmare. It's in there now. It's never coming undone again, okay. So yeah, you get provided a screwdriver, but the screws which you get for the servos, the screwdriver doesn't fit. Minor little detail, and could have so easily been resolved by better parts choice. And remember, this is what my point here was, that this is an established model. It's been out for a long period of time. There's been plenty of time for people to pass these kinds of things feedback back into the food chain, so that newer kits later on, remember we're a year on now, at least since this kit was released, minor little details which stopped this model from being like an exceptional, it takes it down from being maybe an exceptional model down to just a good model. Okay, by the way, this is on their box, it says build in 20 minutes, and I spent way more than 20 minutes because I think I spent about 5 minutes swearing at that little screw. Oh, no CG point mentioned on the box anywhere, and you've got to go bloody careful as well. So let me just get signed into the iPad a second. So on the HobbyKing website, number one, hope that comes out, you'll notice that there's loads of different manuals. No idea which one's the newest one. And if one of them is the newest one, why didn't they delete the other ones? That said, let's open this up. So it's a PDF. I'm quite happy about that. If you want to save the planet a bit of paper, that's fine. Now, the really scary thing in the CG point, and I'm sure this has caught people out, and I'm just scrolling through it very quick now, just trying to find it. That, okay, can you now appreciate why I mentioned about marking the CG on this model? That CG, move it right up there, is really far up. Not like 1/3 of the wing, maybe back here on the model. It's right on the front, and they say it's 20 to 25 millimeters from the leading edge, and that is not 1/3 of the wing. Again, this is the wings are slightly tipped forwards, as you can see in the picture here, so the CG has come forwards, and that, I'm sure that's caught more than one person out. As such, I stand by my comment in the live unboxing, which is that I would have liked to have seen a CG marked on the underside of the wing, for the sake of a sticker either side, or maybe something in the moulding that would save foam snow in short, and none of us really want foam snow, to be honest. Next point, and this was the reason, to be honest, this is the reason why I made the video, because this really pissed me off, again, is, move this round, and we shouldn't be doing things like this at all for a model or a kit which has been around for a long period of time. And by the way, I've still got no idea what these are. I should really read the manual. When it comes to these fins, the propellers, okay, what I've had to do is I put it all together. Happy days, nice and straightforward. There's no need for a manual. Blah blah blah. And I've put this together. But what I noticed that these were really stiff, and I mean really stiff. So what I've had to do is do two things, and why I haven't screwed that one back in, is that number one, I've had to get a small hobby file, okay, little modelling file, little flat one, and then get inside of here, and then file up on the inside, on both sides, quite like loads in comparison in there, and also get onto the prop blade as well, so that now, when we pop there, and I've also just given it a wipe around, and also given it a little lick of WD-40 just to give it some lubrication, is the word which I'm looking for. By the way, a little tip for you is you'll notice that I've put the bolt on the left hand side so that as it spins this way, so if I do pick up some mud and then at a later date I need to change the propeller for whatever reason, I'm not being filled up the hex end of the bolt with mud. Okay, instead I've been filled up, so I've done that up too tight, and instead I've just got some mud over the nut which I can easily clean off, and it doesn't need any great tolerances there at all. So you'll now see that this is flowing really freely, okay. That will fold back on itself, okay. In fact, to be honest, it might need a little bit more. Anyway, no, it's fine. But out of the box it was stiff as you like, and that goes back to I also stand by my previous comment about this, the folding prop mechanism here. It's made out of ABS, well, it's ABS, I would guess ABS plastic with glass fibre in there, strengthening it to strengthen the plastic. And the thing is that mould might be well used by now, and as such the tolerances have gone because these propellers are really stiff. Personally, again, using the EF Extra as a reference, I would have liked to have seen a machined aluminium piece in there, which is what you get on the EF Extra, which I've got over there, which is the same kind of price point. Remember, when this one's not on sale, it's still £130 model, so actually this model's more expensive than the EF Extra. Work that out. And the quality is not there in this department, okay, as far as the prop goes. So let me tick that one off the list. Had to file the mount. Not a Durafly mount. I've kind of... Oh, not an aluminium mount. Sorry, I was reading my own notes. The last one, which is a tiny little point, but I am going to pick this up again, going for the basis that this is a well-used model. Well-made model. One of these, I forget which side it was. Actually, it was the right wing. Over here, the servo horn was one notch out. Okay, as such I had to take it apart and then reseat it back in so it was actually vertical before it was coming too far forwards, especially in relation to the other one. And I know these are minor points, but like I said, this is a premium model and is marketed as being flight ready in 20 minutes. Mine was definitely not ready in 20 minutes after the faffing, especially which I had with the nose, and then trying to re out the sellotape for the thing and tweaking things, and the amount of swear words which I said at that rear servo, the amount of unmentionables. So yeah, those are kind of my points. And quickly, I'm just going to run through them again. Servo screw in the rear, absolute, not metal servos in the back. I might be wrong on that, but that's a plastic tooth gear on the top which we had. So compared to the ones in the wings, they were metal geared servos for sure, and they also sounded very much like metal geared servos. Not very good servo connectors. Should have been a proper female connector for the servos in the rear, not just a male connector with some pins pointing out the front of it. That wasn't very good at all. Not much confidence in that connector, to the point I put some sellotape around it as well. There was no CG marked underneath the wing. Again, we saw on the manual how close that CG is to the front leading edge. I'm sure that's caught other people out. I would hate that. I would hate for that to happen to you. So I am standing by that one. Should have marked CG on this model, okay? Especially because of the forward spec wing. Some people are going to go, oh, I'll measure it like a third back here, and of course that's going to be grossly tail heavy. Not fun. I had to file the nose mount. Shouldn't be doing that. Okay, sometimes it's the little things which make the whole experience an awful lot better. Oh, the nose mount is the propeller mount isn't an aluminium one. I would personally like to have seen that after the standard being set by the EF Extra, which is a brilliant little nose mount on that one. And also the aileron servo wasn't mounted. Those are all my negative points, okay, all my criticisms, okay, of the Excalibur so far, okay. Now, I'd like to put this into perspective, which is that I'm sure all my comments here will get forgotten the second we take it out on the flight line. And the reason why I know that that's going to happen is because I've already seen these fly. Dave's got one, and it's absolutely brilliant. I'm always jealous. In fact, I was trying to bribe Dave with a couple of models. It's like, you've had enough of yours? You know, how about this, and what about that as well? And he wasn't budging. I think he just liked his Excalibur too much to part with it, and I don't blame him, okay, at all. So Dave, you get yours, I've got mine as well. We're gonna have some races, happy days. So like I said, my criticisms aside, I am really looking forward to flying this model. It's a known model, and they will all be forgotten the second we get it in the sky. And that's why I've done this video right now, because I want to share them with you as soon as they've come up. One other little very cool thing, which I didn't spot when we did the unboxing, and by the way, nice to be done in the factory, is that this back piece here, if I turn that over, hope that's focusing. There we go. See that? So when you put that down in the nose area, just like so, put that down, put it to its side, and you twist, and then that top of the lid is welded down. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. And that's coming from somebody who might have had, what was it, the Skywalker? I forget which wing it was now. There was a wing which I reviewed last year, and it flew absolutely brilliantly. But there is absolutely no retention for the lid, and I lost the lid. I ended up giving the model away to Andrew because I was just so pissed off of it. Why would you make a stupid model with a stupid lid which just falls off in flight? That really frustrated me. Whereas this one, that's never coming off, he says, because I've not pushed it down far enough. And that one there, that little clip, secures itself in and keeps the lid down. So I do like that. Now, like I was saying, do keep these criticisms in proportion, okay? Like I said, you can let me know if you think I'm being fair or unfair, and you can do that in the comments section underneath this video. Do you feel that I'm being unfair by mentioning that you need to sand or file out the prop adapter so that the blades move freely? Do you feel that I was unfair that this model, saying that this model should have had metal geared servos in the rear tail section because it is a premium model, especially when you have metal geared servos in the wings, or any of the other points which we mentioned? Oh, there was one other thing which is, it's just gone out of my mind. I thought there was, the big one. There was a question around the brake not being set on this model. Good news, when I set mine up a few moments ago, the brake, or the speed controller brake was set. So that is a really big thumbs up, okay? Also, I noticed in the manual just a few moments ago, there was a pattern in there for the beeps to let you know how to change the settings for the ESC as well. So big thumbs up on that point, and I'm gonna leave it as that one, a big thumbs up for this model. So, with that said, from myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this episode. Remember, your feedback is very, very much welcomed and definitely encouraged, and you can let me know what your thoughts are about my criticisms of the Excalibur, and you can do that down in the comments section underneath this video. And remember, for absolute clarity, this model was bought out of my own money for my own abuses. This wasn't provided me as a freebie for review, something which I like to try and keep as clear as possible. So with that said, from myself, Matt, as always, cheerios!